Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sibo and I truly appreciate that you're watching me right now. I'm very excited today because I'm picking up the Haval Jolion for a test drive. I'm picking it up from Haval Pretoria in Gezina. I truly appreciate how much they've been offering me support, and I'm grateful to Bruce for hooking me up with this test drive. As you can see here, they have stock, which is a blessing during this pandemic because you don't have to wait for your orders or whatever. So if you are looking for any deals on Haval, any more details and so on, you can get in touch with them. I'll leave the contact in the description below so that you can be able to get in touch with them. So how are we going to do this test drive? This test drive, we're going to do it in such a way that is as normal as possible. Driving this car as normal as possible. As much as here and here we will be pushing it a bit, but we're going to try and limit it to a normal driving as possible so that you can be able to see the figures that you'll be getting, like fuel consumption, for example, which is one of the biggest things or biggest questions that I've been getting on this car. And towards the end of the video, I'll give you a full review of my experience of this car today, the fuel consumption that I had on the car, and how it fares on different slopes and so on and so on. So with that said, let's go. So I'm setting up right now. I'm making sure that we're starting on a clean slate, as you can see on the screen there, making sure that we're starting on zero, especially for average fuel, because that's something that I think it should start at zero so that it's not taking into account everything that everyone was doing on this car before. So you can see that this car has done like 312 kilometers already, and then the instant fuel that it's doing, because it's idling, is like 0.8. You see the average fuel is 0, and then the average speed, obviously, because the car is not moving, it's showing. So the current consumption and the range, they are showing on the side of the screen. If you can check the 0.8 and the 3.379 there on the side, you'll see there's it's showing you throughout. And then, yeah, as we are setting up right now, I tried connecting to my Android Auto. Yes, for those who are asking me about Android Auto, it is here and it is working. So we're going to be trying to drive this car on normal most of the time. And then as well, we're going to be keeping the aircon like off for the duration, because we're trying to get as normal drive as possible. And then, as I was saying, yeah, for the Android Auto, basically I tried to connect it. This one.
I'll put this here,
Yeah. Oh, the
and it won't slide around.
Okay.
Okay. Out the gate, you remember how it
Okay,
goes. Now
so
you're in
then-
park, so turn, yeah, there we go, you're in drive.
All right.
Handbrake down, and off we go. Down we go. Second lane straight up over the mountain. And accident again. here, you can use the screen like your phone.
Okay.
And just go straight back 2 ways.
Oh. You know, this Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, they make life so easy.
This is so much better than a normal navigation. It's almost stopping you from rolling backwards.
Oh.
So although you've got the auto hold as well.
Oh yes. It's very handy in traffic actually.
Instant response.
Oh.
That guy's brakes a bit squeaky.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go left.
Oh, very well.
Not the first traffic light, the second one. We're gonna go left again.
The one by Sasol.
Yes, it's a Satchel garage there. Haven't been out here for a long time.
Uh-huh. No, I sometimes come around here. check it right here.
This guy's gonna hook a red robot. Okay. Yeah.
I had to feel the power now. I hardly use Waze, you know that. I use just Google Maps normally all the time.
What's nice about Waze is it'll tell you, it's normally more up to date, so it'll tell you if there's an accident, if it's been reported.
Oh.
It'll tell you if there's a traffic jam.
Oh, the cops, I know that. I just know about the cops.
Yeah. What's this guy doing now? Best to let him go.
Yeah. Is joining the highway. It's on normal now. So you can until the throttle response on economy. So it's changing the color here.
It changes the color to blue.
Oh.
And if you change it to sport, it'll go to red. Still got enough response. Front here, we're going to go onto the R80.
Alright. people are gonna drive it on normal anyway.
That's where most people are driving. There's lots of wind pushing you around.
Traffic is usually bad here. Showing me that it's stable on 7.
The wind is high.
Yeah, today there's too much wind there.
Straight away to the right hand lane
because at that McD we're gonna do the.
We're gonna go right.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I used to stay around here, so it was just an easy one. How do I put it on? Oh, you're gonna do right. I wanted to say, how do I put it on? Is that one? Does it have traffic? Because we could still get to that McG and no, the one.
No, this is a little shortcut. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay.
If I do highway, then this would be the way I go. And then first traffic circle over here. We're gonna go right again.
Oh, all right.
It's there where the bus was.
Oh, let's see how that is. So if you put it on manual, it's changing automatically to...
If you go to manual, you have to use the
pedals. Yes, because I'm doing that now.
Unless you get to red line, then it will
automatically change
for you. Yeah. I see you driving in manual.
Yes.
Over the stop street.
Okay, so now it's time to reflect on my experience, as I said. So now, this car, as you are getting in, the very first thing, if you're touching the steering wheel, you'll feel that, okay, now I'm in a premium car. The feeling to the hands, this leather is so soft and I like it. Basically, that's that. Then when you get to the sitting positions, you realize that you can take this seat as low as possible. I took it down, like down as like I'm 1.7 meters tall, but I still managed then to get like the right position. And I think people who are way taller than me can still manage to sit comfortably in this car. Then now, when it comes to the positioning of the steering wheel, I find it to be like, it's nice, because then now when I'm considering that I've been complaining so much about the visibility of the H2, especially on the right hand side, this blind spot, I can't get over it. I still need to lean over to see, but there's space between the mirror here and also the car. So when you are looking at it in that sense, you're like, okay, you know, now at least I have this little space. You think it's small, but it's making a hell of a lot of difference. So now when it comes to the ease of access to the buttons, that's where I have a problem, because to change the drive modes, you need to reach out from the far left and swiping to your side, which is the right in this case. So for me, I find it to be a bit, it's a bit far, and you still need to look at the screen. Luckily, the screen is very crystal clear. You can see, and the positioning of this screen where it is, you can still be looking forward. It's not like when you have to look down to actually change the driving modes and so on. I didn't see where you can change it through the buttons on the steering wheels, so that's why for me it's a bit of a concern for those who are not used to looking all the way around when they're driving. But what do you find in that screen? You're going to find the driving modes, the volume, and the aircon controls in there. It might take you time to get used to navigating your hands through using it, but once you get the hang of it, it will be easier over time. Now let's talk about this engine. The engine is, you know, it's very smooth. It's smoother than I expected for a 1.5. Only when you are overtaking or you are putting your foot down and so on, that's when you start to feel that the engine is working. Like when you're picking up from the traffic light and you like just put your foot down, it's going to do like that loud noise a bit, but it is not as annoying as I said with the H2, that it sounds like, you know, that hair dryer kind of noise. And the speakers inside, they don't sound like they've been enhanced in any way, so you're just getting that natural rev engine that is happening. And then if you put it on sport like this now, and then you just try to pull the car, it's when you start to feel that the engine is making that bit of a noise, but it's not annoying. That's the part that I think the refinement worked so well in this car. Looking at the transmission now, how it works and how it moves, this 7-speed DCT, wow, it's something that I don't expect to be like this, especially when it comes to this price range, because a lot of what this car is offering, it's compared to how much you're paying for it. Value for money wise, I'm not sure if you're going to find a car that can give you what this car is giving you in terms of the link between the engine and the transmission. And then when it comes to the road noise, the tires that I hear is 18-inch. It's quite big tires, so they are supporting this car a lot. As you can see, I'm driving on a bumpy road right now, but it's not that difficult for you to deal with this, because you know, when you're hitting like a bit of potholes and stuff, it gives you that kind of a noise. It's not that cracking noise that is a bit scary. And then now, when it comes to the wind noise on the side, luckily or unluckily, today is a windy day, and the way it is on the road, the wind noise was coming through like a lot. But what I realized is that because of the way it was so windy, you could feel that it's because of the actual wind on the like on these spaces of the mirrors, and because there was a lot of wind, and not necessarily because the car was struggling to deal with the insulation inside. So I think it's nicely insulated. You can still play the sound, you can still get enough communication inside. It doesn't disturb anything at all. And then when it comes to driving it like on curves and so on, as well, as much as it was windy, it was not being pushed around, and I loved the body, like how it's handling itself on the curves, because then now the body roll is so minimal. It doesn't feel like it's an SUV. Basically, this car is like a station wagon when you look at it. But yeah, that's just gonna be how people are looking at it. And then looking at the type of leg, I complained about it a lot before as well. Again, I think for me they improved it a lot as compared to the H2. I already did the hill drives. You've seen that it can handle itself well on the hills. Even on the highway, if you find a slope that is going high, it's finding its feet easily because it can maintain the speed that you came with in and just stay there without dropping off or needing to change down. That is a nice one actually. And then you get in town, you realize that it's actually very easy to maneuver. It doesn't intimidate you with that big car feel when you're driving it. So I believe a lot of people, even those who are not used to driving big cars, they're going to find this car very easy to maneuver around town as an everyday driver. So I don't think that will be a problem for many. Now let's address the biggest concern that people have with Haval, which is the fuel consumption. Now, as we did this journey around, this car averaged 9.9 liters. For a B segment, one might sit back and be like, hey, that's a lot. And I would agree with them. And then I will come to you and say, I've been driving the H2 for quite some time. It was averaging 10.2 liters when it was still new. But now I'm averaging around 7.8, 7.5 on a normal daily drive. So when a car is still new, there's a likelihood that it's still going to chow more petrol, but over time it settles down. Overall, from someone who has driven H2 for quite some time, this is an improvement. Thanks for watching. I'm out.